Hi guys, it's John from Android Addicts, and this is a review of the Fossibot F101 Pro. So this is the latest phone from Fossibot, and I haven't actually had any experience with Fossibot before, so this is the first rugged phone that they have sent through to me, so thank you very much for that. And this is how the package comes. Quite a nice sort of minimalistic box here. We can see here the different specs of the device on the back. But let's have a look at what you get inside the box when you open it up. So along with the phone, you also get a user manual, you get a SIM eject tool, a USB A to C cable, and you get an 18-watt charger. You can see the details of the charger here. Okay, so here is the phone itself. As you can see, it's a rugged smartphone device. Yes, I did nearly drop it there. And it's got this nice rear display here, which is one of the new features that you're going to be looking out for on this phone. So let's go over the specs of the phone first, and we'll see whether or not you want to pick one of these up. And this retails at about £100 or about $130. So this really is quite a cheap phone for what you're getting inside with that rear innovative display here. So the F101 Pro comes with a 5.45 inch 60Hz HD IPS display. It's running Android 13 out of the box, and it supports 4G only, so no 5G on this sadly, but it does come with an octa-core Helio P60 processor, 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of onboard storage. On the front we do get a 8 megapixel camera, and on the rear we do get a 24 megapixel camera and a 5 megapixel macro camera. So this is a dual SIM device, and it does come with that 10,600 milliamp hour battery. As you can see from the thickness of this phone will last a long time, probably around 3 or 4 days of normal usage. So let's just take a look around the phone itself, and we can see what we get with this device. It is available in 2 colors, it's black or orange. Here we have the black one, obviously. So here on the left of the device, we have the SIM and yes, micro SD card slot. That does support up to 1 terabyte of storage. And yes, that is dual SIM or 1 SIM and micro SD. So this is also waterproof and shockproof, but you do need to make sure that you keep your rubber bung tightly in place for that to be effective. We do also get a side customizable key here, which you can use to open up apps or do other functions. On the bottom of the device, we get the Type-C connector port here. Sadly, no 3.5mm headphone jack, but we do get USB-C 18-watt charging. And again, make sure that it is popped back in place to ensure the waterproof stays effective. We also have the bottom microphone here. On the right-hand side, we have a volume rocker up and down, and we also have the side-mounted fingerprint reader, which, as you can see, works absolutely fine. Nothing on the top of the device. Right, so here we are on the phone itself. Like I said, Android 13, and it runs nice and smoothly here with that Helio processor and that 8 gigs of RAM. There's no bloatware installed. We do get an FM radio. You also get a safety app here and a tool bag along with this sound recorder, and that just has your various tools in here which you can use for your various activities that you do whilst using your rugged phone. Now the interesting one here is the step counter. We do get a step counter here, which is not too common I've seen on rugged phones, so that's nice, and that will come in handy a bit later on the rear screen. Other than that though, it is just standard Android 13, and the lack of bloat is quite nice. We do get our Google Home here, which we can disable if we wish to, and we can customize the side key. If we go into settings, go to custom key, and here you can select what you want to happen when you press it once. So you can open up an app, turn on the flashlight, for example, turn on or off the secondary screen, or open any of your apps, and also the long press function. So I would normally set that to say the flashlight. And then when we press and hold the side key, the flashlight will come on and go off. So I've done some benchmarks and I'll put those on the screen. This isn't a big powerhouse for gaming, but it can play most games on lower settings without any problems at about 30 FPS. Some games run better than others, of course, but we'll have a look at those shortly. First off, I want to just go through this rear display here, and we'll see what sort of functions we can do and use from this rear display. So the rear display can be activated multiple ways. We already saw we could activate it with the side key here. You can also just flip it over and it will turn on. And from here, you get your choice of various different apps on the display. So we'll just go through them one at a time first. First up here is the clock display that shows the date and time, and also your steps here, as you can see in the left-hand side. So that's quite handy if you want to quickly check how you're doing with your step count for the day. If you want to change the clock, you can easily do so from this back screen as well. You just double tap it, and you can swipe through the 16 various clock faces here and select one that takes your fancy. And you can see here they all contain the date and time along with the step count. So it's really handy to be able to see that at a glance on the back of your phone. So some quite cool ones here you can choose from. Some very basic ones. And we'll go into customizing the clock face very shortly. Once you're happy, you've chosen the one you want, you just double tap it again and it will save that as your clock face. Okay, so next up we have the compass, and yeah, it works pretty well. But yeah, nice and handy thing to have on the back of your phone. And if you're just walking about, like I say, in the wilderness and you just need to quickly check you're going the right direction still, then having a compass there is definitely worth having at a quick glance here. Now we also get access to the camera through here. So we can actually take a camera picture with the rear camera facing forwards. We can also take one from the front facing camera here, as you can see. And that again is just a nice little feature to have the option to do so on the back of your phone. Next up we have the standard timer here, so we can do a quick timer stopwatch and just reset that. We can also record sound, and this is going to be recording obviously using the internal speaker of the phone down by the mic piece here. So we can just have a quick listen back to our recording. Sound, and this is going to be recording obviously using the internal speaker of the phone down by the mic piece here. We can then play back and control our music depending on what app we're using for music. Simple controls, play, pause, forwards and backwards. And of course we can also use this to answer and reject phone calls. So you can see incoming call here, so I can press here to accept, and that has now answered the call. Or I could have pressed the red key to actually reject the call and just ignore it coming through. You do also get the option to pull down for the battery percentage and swipe up for viewing any notifications. So yeah, those are really cool little features that you get here, and we can go into a bit more detail if we go into the settings back screen. So here we can set things a bit quicker if we want to, so we can quickly select from our 16 different watch faces. We can also create a customized one if we wish to. So again, we may want to set various different backgrounds. You can as well create your own background here. So if we take a photo of our little Android figure here, we can add that to our gallery of watch faces. And there we have our customized clock face, which now if I save that and go back, we've now got our customized. So maybe you'd want to put a picture of your child or your loved one maybe on the back of your phone for your clock face, which is quite cool. Set the timer here, which I probably should have done before recording this. Set it to say 1 minute, so that doesn't keep timing out. You can also set the brightness, so we can max it out at level 3, and how quickly it goes back to the main clock face after you've selected something like a compass. So for example, if you are going to select the compass and you want to navigate somewhere, you probably never want it to go back to the main clock, so you can set that to never time out, and it will always remember your previous position. And these are just the other settings that you can set here, including the camera photo size for the camera app. And that's it for that part of this screen. So if I just do a missed call here. Okay, so we can now see we've got a little red dot here for our notification. And if I swipe up here, we'll see I've had a missed call. Now there's no LED notification on this, so that little red dot on your clock is going to be your notification that there was something that's happened. So that's just worth bearing in mind. So yeah, what I will do now is just go through some photo and video tests, and you can make up your own mind as to what you think. Okay, so here we are on the F101 Pro doing a bit of video recording on the rear 24 megapixel camera. So it's a pretty dull day today, sadly. It's quite windy. So it's going to be a good test for the phone. There's obviously no OIS on this camera, but it does seem to be picking up colours reasonably well. But yeah, you can see the quality you're going to get here. If you tap to focus, it does improve the image when you are stationary. So maybe a bit of auto-focusing could be improved there. Yeah, overall not too bad. Have a quick look at some of the colours here. Slightly washed out, and you can see the browns on the leaves. Grass looking a bit greener than it does in real life. But yeah, I don't really have any flowers or anything to show you because of the fact we're in autumn now. Most of the flowers have actually died off. Okay, so here we are on the front-facing camera. Again, this is 1080p, and it's actually pretty good. Reasonably impressed with this. Obviously, it's just 30 FPS, as with the rear camera. Yeah, overall, it's picking up things quite well. You can see there. Yeah, the sky is very overcast today, so there's not much going on here. But let's just have a quick walk around. No stabilisation, obviously. But look here. But yeah, it's pretty good. Can't complain with the colour reproduction on the front-facing camera, particularly. Okay, so the FM radio, you do require a headphone adapter to be able to use it. You can see here I've got a USB-C to 3.5mm adapter, so we're going to plug that in here. And if you don't have one of these, I'll put a link in the description for you to pick one up. But yeah, you can basically just pop it in, go to your speaker, and start listening away. Now you can save favourites, you can record, and this will now start recording, and you can save your favourite station to your phone to listen to again later on if you so wish. Okay, so here we are in New State Mobile, and you can see here this runs nicely on the lowest settings at about 60 FPS. You can see here, nice and smooth, not a problem at all. There's a few bits and pieces lagging every now and again, but overall it's really nice and playable on the low settings. Right, so here we are on COD Mobile, and these are the best settings I've found, medium and high. You can set it to high graphics, but there is a lot more lag that's noticeable compared to medium, so I'll stick with medium and it stays nice and smooth, as you can see. Not a problem at all here for the F101. Okay, so here we are in Genshin Impact, and it's on the lowest settings possible at 30 FPS. And it is okay, it does run okay, but obviously you do get a bit of load in every now and again when things pop into display. But overall, it's not too bad at all for a $130 device. Okay, so now it's time to test out if it is really waterproof or not. Here we're going to pop this in some water and we'll see how we last. We've made sure that our SIM tray adapter and Type-C port are sealed up. So let's pop it in and see what happens. So yeah, we can see there's no problems at all with it underwater. I could sit here and leave it for half an hour, but I think we're pretty certain that there's no bubbles of air coming out of the thing, and it is pretty fine. But yeah, you've got to make sure that you keep your rubber bungs in place, otherwise you're going to be in a whole world of trouble. So let's see what you think of the speaker. Now I believe the speaker itself is coming out of these two little areas on the back, but yeah, have a listen and see how loud this can get. So yeah, more than enough volume and reasonable amount of bass for such a small device as well. So yeah, no problems there on the speaker front. So like I say, for £100 or about $130, you can't really go wrong for a rugged, massive power bank, rear display, reasonable cameras. You know, they're not going to blow you away particularly, but they're reasonable for the price, and that massive battery is pretty good. I've had it for about a couple of weeks now, and this battery has lasted a good 3 or 4 days on average usage. And I think that's helped by the fact it's not a huge display. So this 5.45-inch display is a bit smaller than some of the other rugged phones I've reviewed, and I think that does help in the grand scheme of things when it comes to battery life. But yeah, that is the Fossibot F101 Pro. Really nice little phone, and for £100 or $130, you can't really go wrong. So if you've got any questions or comments at all, let me know down below. I have put an affiliate link in the description if you want to pick one of these up. And obviously the Black Friday sale, you're going to get some extra discounts on top of that as well. So it's worth checking out the link down below. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.